So if your day is anything like mine, you're an instructional coach, you've got enough on your plate, maybe you're in 3 to 4 different rooms, you could potentially be in 3 to 4 different grade levels throughout the day. Managing your time can be one of the most difficult things to do in a day, but I think managing your time in between sessions, if you're packed, so if your schedule looks something like 9 o'clock, you're in a classroom, you end at 9:50, you're with another teacher at 10 o'clock, finding the time to capture your reflection and thinking about your next steps can be a little bit of a challenge. Today is one of those days for me. So this morning I have a teacher that I'm working with right up front, different grade level kindergarten, and some of the work that we have going there is how do we increase the number of kids that we meet with in a day. And we have given ourselves permission, wrote this up the other day, to just do some research only conferences, making sure that we're complimenting kids quickly. 3 to 4 minutes we put ourselves on the clock, and recording their strengths and then identifying next steps for those particular kids. So that's fun and engaging work. We got it down to a few different strategies per kid, but then it's like leave there and think about what just happened. So when I leave a room, and this is sort of the first tip, is you got to be able to plan in your head, and you have to be able to reflect in your head. So when you leave a particular room, it's okay to, number one, screenshot something like this, capture it on your phone, and then as you're walking out of the room, if there's something that the work is in play, it's okay to capture the student work as it's happening or the work with the teacher as it's happening, to kind of be able to replay that, or at least jar your memory enough to say, that's what happened and that's the thing that I'm after and I feel really good about it, or here are the things that I would change about it. So you can always revisit your phone later to do that. But the other thing is, like, when you leave a room, making sure that you plan where you're going. So you could have the moment of reflection. Maybe for me, it's about halfway up the hallway. I think about what just happened, right? Quickly process that, make sure I have an image on my phone, make sure I have the materials with me. But now when I reach that halfway point up the hallway, I'm thinking about, where am I going? What are the things that I'm going? So I leave this kindergarten room, and now I'm heading into how do we increase talk on a different grade level using the nominal group technique, which I have here written out, where students are going to increase their talk and they're going to generate ideas, they're going to record those ideas, they're going to discuss them with a discussion host, then they're going to vote on the ideas that best match the problem, which is amazing work too. But I've got to get this in my head. So the way that might look for me is when I leave my kindergarten placement, I automatically pull this to the top of the paper and I think about my phrasing and what I'm actually going to lead into, whether it's with the teacher or the kid or the kids, depending on if the teacher is looking to see me demonstrate or if we're co-leading this. In this case, we're going to kind of co-lead this work. So it's important that we both have equal share, and we planned all that out. And so I planned that work out as I'm going into the next placement. So basically, 2 tips to think about: planning in your head as you're leaving a classroom, and then planning where you're going into, but then also making sure that you're capturing some of those things that you're working on. So grab a photo of the charts that you may be using or the tools that you may be using with the teacher, and then also archiving something from that time. So you could be looking at pictures of classroom work, student work, or any other work with the teacher. I hope this helps. Thanks.